right, let's go ahead and take a look at 5.5. And for 5.5, we're going through linear automobile depreciation. So we're going to write, interpret, and graph a straight line depreciation equation. And we're going to interpret the graph of the straight line depreciation equation. So let's look at the first example. It says, suppose that you purchase a car for $27,000. Let me get this fixed. $27,000. And according to your online research, this make and model loses all of its marketable value after 12 years. So what this says in theory is that in 12 years, this $27,000 car will be worth zero in a marketable capacity. That is, it depreciates to zero after 12 years from the purchase date. If this car depreciates in straight line form, what are the intercepts of the depreciation equation? So really what it's asking for, when you think of a graph, you've got your x and you've got your y. And here we would have the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So it's asking basically, where are those points? So the first one let's look at is the x-intercept, and then we'll look at the y-intercept. So the x is time in years, and the y is the value in dollars. So it's saying that at 12 years, the car will be worth zero. And that's our first intercept. Now the second one, at 0 years, how much is the car going to be worth? And the answer to that is its new car price, so it will be $27,000. So my intercepts are 12, 0, and 0, 27,000. Please press pause, go ahead and solve for this, come back when you're ready. All right, it says that this car sells for D dollars and depreciates after T years. So looking at my straight line depreciation, creating the intercepts, I know that as a brand new car, it's going to be worth D, and that's at 0 years. And I know that at a certain number of named years, which would be T, at that point, the car will be worth 0. Example 2, it says, determine the slope of the straight line depreciation for example 1. So we know again that our intercepts were 0, 27,000, and they were 12, 0. Now to find the slope of a straight line depreciation, we need to remember our find a slope formula. And that would be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So the first thing we're going to do is just go ahead and label our values. We have x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm always really big on labeling those because I think it makes your life a whole lot easier. It doesn't get as confusing when all you have to do is now identify, well, y2 is 0, y1 is 27,000, and x2 is 12, and x1 is 0. When I do the subtraction here, I get negative 27,000 all over a positive 12. And when I divide the 12 into the negative 27,000, the slope is negative 2,250. Please press solve. Please press pause. Go ahead and solve this and come back when you're ready. All right, for those values, we had 0D and we had T0. So looking at that, if we label them, we've got x1, y1, x2, y2. Plug them into our formula. We have 0 minus D all over T minus 0, which gives me a negative D over T is my slope. Example 3, it says write the straight line depreciation equation as discussed in the examples for 1 and 2 and then graph the equation. So it's asking us to put this into an equation of y equals mx plus b. Remembering that m is my slope and b is my y-intercept. So looking at this, I know that my slope was negative 2250, and I know from the first question that my y-intercept is $27,000. It's that brand new car value and where it crosses the y. So now I simply plug it into my equation, and I've got y equals negative 22,500x, or 2250x, plus 27,000. And we really have already graphed it, but we'll go over it again. Again, we've got time in years, and it was 12 years when it's 0. And we've got car value in dollars, and that was at $27,000. And the graph would basically look like this. It crosses at those y-intercepts. All right, please press pause. Go ahead and solve for this. When you're ready, press play and we'll move on. Okay, let's see how you did. It says write and graph the straight line depreciation equation that was purchased. So the first thing we need to do, here what we're doing is we're taking steps 1, 2, and 3 and we're putting them all together. So I have 2 intercepts. The first one is 0, 22,000. The cars were 22,000 at 0 years, and at 11 years, the car is worth 0. Next thing I'm going to do is label my x1, y1, x2, y2, and plug it into my find the slope formula. I get 22,000 minus 0, all over 0 minus 11, which gives me 22,000 over negative 11, which gives me then a slope of negative $2,000. My equation, y equals, the slope I just found out is negative 2,000 x plus, right here is my y-intercept, it was the new car value, and so it's y equals negative 2,000 x plus 22,000. So the 22,000 or 22K value is here. Here is the 11 years. And the graph is going to look like that. Now notice all of these graphs are going down. That makes sense because the car value is going down over time. Example 4. Suppose that Jack had purchased a car 5 years ago at a price of $27,600. According to research, this make and model, similar cars have straight line depreciated after 12 years. How much will his car be worth in 66 months? So now we're really taking all of that we've learned, putting it together, and then we're going to start plugging in values. So I know that my intercepts are 12, 0 because it depreciates to 0 after 12 years. And we know its new car value was $27,600. We're going to go ahead and label x1, y1, x2, y2, and then let's plug it into the equation. 27,600 minus 0, all over 0 minus 12, gives me 27,600 over negative 12. When I divide that, I get a slope of negative $2,300. So my equation is y equals negative 2,300x plus that new car value of 27,600. So it's asking next, what is the car going to be worth at 66 months? Now we're going to have to convert this because remember x is my time, but in years. So I'm going to have to get that 66 months into years, which means I'm going to take the 66 and divide it by the number of months in a year, which is 12, and I find that it's asking what will its value be at 5.5 years. So I'm going to plug in my value, and I've got y equals negative 2,300 times 5.5 plus 27,600. When I multiply this together, I get y equals negative 12,650 plus 27,600. So let's go ahead and check and see on the calculator. I've got 27,600 minus 12,650. So 27,600 minus 12,650. And the car's value at 66 months is going to be $14,950. All right, please press pause. Go ahead and solve this. When you're ready, come back and we'll see how you did. Okay, let's check it out. First, we need to identify our intercepts, which is going to be 0, 18, 495, and 9, 0. We're going to create our equation. So we've got x1, y1, x2, y2. We've got 0 minus 18, 495, divided by 9 minus 0, which gives me negative 18, 495, all divided by 9, which gives me a slope of negative 2,055. My equation will then be y equals negative 2055x plus the 18,495. And then it's asking us to plug it in at W months. Now again, it's months. We need to convert it to years. So when converting to years, it becomes W divided by 12. So my actual equation is going to be y equals negative 2055 times W divided by 12 plus 18,495. And we're going to go ahead and finish the next two on the next video.